Over the past 15 weeks, I have lost 17.2 kilos. That is almost 3 stone. I have completely come off blood pressure tablets, which I have been on for over 10 years. My cholesterol level has come down. My blood glucose levels have come down. I have recently had from my doctor a clean bill of health. It is incredibly exciting. It's been a wonderful journey. And in today's episode, I'm going to share with you the 5 steps, my 5-step method to start over and rise, and how I applied it that allowed me to lose that amount of weight and feel this good. And how, should you wish to, you can do the same. Let's get started. So I'm going to take you through my 5-step method and how I applied it to this particular area of my life. So if you are in midlife, if you are feeling stuck, if you were like me in terms of for the past decade, your weight has been going up and down. You've tried all sorts of different weight loss programs. And maybe some of them have worked really well and some of them you have slipped back into old habits, then this is the episode for you. But this episode is also so much more than just weight loss. If you are stuck in any area of your life, whether you are looking to start a business, change your career, change your relationship, move location, retire, whatever it is that you want to do, you can tune into this and understand the 5 steps and how you can use them and adapt them to any area in your life so that you can start over and rise from where you are right now to where you want to be. Hey gorgeous, thanks for joining me. If you are brand new, my name is Sara Burton. I am your Start Over coach. I specialize in midlife reinvention for those of us who consider ourselves to be midlife mavericks. We are not prepared to settle for anything less than fabulous. And if you've watched or listened before, welcome back. I'm so appreciative to have you here again with me once more. So as you can tell, I'm a little bit excited because today was quite a big day. I weighed in at 65.1 kilos, which means I've lost almost 3 stone in the last 16 weeks. But I wanted to dive on in here because if you've been following me for a little while, you will have heard that I have a program called Start Over and Rise, and that I have a 5-step Start Over and Rise method. And for a very long time, I've been saying you can apply it to all or any part of your life. Well, this weight loss journey for me, I say weight loss journey, if I'm honest, the weight loss has been a byproduct of all of the changes that I have made about food and nutrition and how I want to be living my life. And I feel that this has been the last piece of the puzzle because I've changed my relationship status. I got divorced. We changed the dynamics of our family. Time has moved on and all is well for everyone involved. I closed my old business, something that I just lost the passion for. I needed to take a break. I've gone through the process of losing my mum and going through grief. There have been so many changes. I stepped up my fitness. I grew my hair. I've got a completely different look. I feel a different person. I've updated my values. There's so much, but the one thing that I was still struggling was inflammation, bloating, gaining weight, and I could never really get to the bottom of it. So I decided that this was the final piece. This was the final tester for me to put my 5-step process into action and see if it would work for this as well. And here I am, 17.2 kilos lighter than I was when I went hard on this process. And so that is why I want to share some more with you about this. There is also another underlying message here, and that is this: you never fail if you don't give up. Now, over the years, I've tried all of the diets. I've also learned the lessons about what stress does for your metabolism. I have basically hyper-focused on the whole thing. But what was truly missing was these 5 steps. And these are exactly the 5 steps that I teach inside of my program. So not only did it work, but it has changed everything. And I have to tell you this, that once I'd done the inner work, the rest was easy. The number one thing that gets you started in this whole process is to literally commit to starting over. This is where I talk about fresh starts plus new thinking equals your next chapter. It's a very simple formula, but it's true. We have to declare that fresh start. And if you want to know more about that, there is a link to that one as well. But it's about drawing a line in the sand. It's about saying, okay, from here on in, I'm committing to doing things differently. I am open to new opportunities, new ideas, and challenging my beliefs. It's so important that you understand that that is exactly the place that you start. Then we can get started with the 5 steps. So step number 1, we have to stop the noise. There was so much noise for me. Now, noise stands for negativity, overwhelm, interference, self-sabotage, and emotional dysregulation. Now, I've got it into those 5 categories and it spells noise beautifully. But what this section is all about, and with regards to my eating and my food and my relationship with my body, I had to stop the noise. I had become so negative. I would beat myself up and talk to myself very, very unkindly when I'd eaten something that I shouldn't have done, or when I thought about how much weight I actually had to lose, 3 stone, it felt like a mountain that needed to be climbed. By stopping the noise, by going through all of the tools and the exercises that I have within the program, I was able to stop all of that chatter and really start to become aware of where I was sabotaging myself. Now, this is paraphrasing this, but it's something really to think about. And if you're struggling with this, then I have a quiz that is available purely about listening to that noise and identifying what that noise is for you. So you can find that at saraburton.co.uk/noise quiz. Okay, let's go back. So once you stop the noise, amazing things start to happen, including other people's opinions and what they're saying about your weight and what you should be doing and so on. You need to clear all of that so you can actually get back to your core self and really understand what it is that you want. Think about it. You need to be able to hear what's going on within you. So it's a bit like being in an enclosed room with somebody on the other side and they're trying to tell you something, but you are surrounded by 1,000 TVs and radios and everything is on broadcast loud and you just can't hear a thing. So this is so important. And once I started to take the time to really clear that away, and it really helped me able to move on to the next stage, which is one of my favorites. Step 2 is sort the crap. Now, this next step is working on 4 major areas. You are going to be turning the clutter, okay? And when I say clutter, I mean mentally, emotionally, physically, all the clutter that's going on. And we're going to turn it into clarity. We're going to create space for you to really be able to think about the things that you need to be thinking about. We're going to be taking away resentments and regrets. We're going to be eliminating all of that. And I have to say, this was a massive one in terms of my weight loss because I was so resentful. How did I let myself get to this stage? Why hadn't I done something about it earlier? There was a lot of resentment and it was all directed at me. Well, that's not going to help anyone. That's certainly not going to help anyone. So even if you think you don't really have that massive emotion going on there, you will be surprised if you've been struggling to really get a handle on your weight loss journey. This is definitely an area that needs to be looked into. In this step as well, I had to look at my attitude and my self-awareness. What were my attitudes towards food? What were my patterns? When was I self-sabotaging myself? All of these. And isn't it funny how everything that I've spoken about so far has not even been about counting a calorie, what's the best food to eat, and so on. This stuff is so important to really get a handle on if you want to have success in this journey. And then the final thing that we go through in this step is it's about taking panic out and really stepping into a place of patience. By tapping into all of this, you can give yourself time. This isn't something that you need to turn around in a day. It's not possible to do that. You can't suddenly lose huge amounts of weight in a matter of days. You have to be patient with yourself. And you have to start preparing for the journey ahead. Now, the third step is your vision. This is where you are going to shape your next chapter. Now, if you want to do this for your business, what does that look like? If you want to do it in your relationships or with finding a new partner or with sorting out your current relationship, what is it that you want? What does it look like? What is the vision? Now, this sounds pretty easy. You go, yeah, I know what this is. I want to lose weight. Okay, but it's like, how much? How do you want to feel? What kind of clothes do you want to wear? What foods do you want to enjoy? What kind of person do you want to be next? What will losing the weight give you? So really going to town on this. And this is definitely a process that, again, it isn't something you necessarily just sit down and do it in 5 minutes. This vision has to start to evolve. You have to understand, you have to feel it, you have to have stepped into the identity in order to make that happen, to make it happen. It's incredible. So that's the third stage. Next is shift. And we're going to shift onto the right path. This was a toughie for me, I have to admit. And that's why I had that deadline. I weighed myself on that day, on the 10th, and I made that commitment. I'd already done a lot of this process up until now. Now was the time to actually shift, to take action. So it was a case of knowing what the steps were. What were the new habits that not only I had to create and establish, but I also had to make sure that I could maintain. It was also about all of that work that we'd done in Sort the Crap, making sure that I had let go so much. Beliefs and old stories that I told myself, they had to go. When we shift from that place into only forwards, then it's super important that this is a daily practice, and the shifting you onto the right path can happen very, very quickly. And I have to say, it really did for me. Now, momentum comes when you take action, right? And it only was a matter of days of me taking some really big steps and making some big shifts that I started to feel better. I started to see the progress, and that obviously helped me build that momentum. And having some great habits and daily practices that enabled me to tap into my why, make it bigger than any fear or thing that I was doing that felt uncomfortable. When we make change, making those shifts does feel uncomfortable, but if you've got a plan and you know why you're executing it, and you've made something that's tailored to you because you're self-aware and you know when you fall off the wagon or when things get uncomfortable, when you start to self-sabotage. So shifting onto the right path. And in the program, I have got so many tools and self-coaching tips that you can apply every single day when you are going through whatever transformation it is that you want to be going. So for me, it was about really putting things into place allowed me to enjoy the food, to take the time to prepare and really think about this. Now it's second nature. Now I don't have to think about any of the changes because it's just happening. And as I said, this is where the magic happens in this particular section, but only when you've done the previous steps leading up to here. Because you can start to make the shifts, but if you haven't done that stop, sort, and shape before this stage, those old beliefs, those old patterns, those familiar, comfortable, bad habits are just going to come straight back. And then the final step is soar. And that is where I am right now, soar into freedom. I am now free from the old stories that I told myself. The respect and the love and the self-trust I have in order to continue with this journey is unshakable. Now, soaring is one of those where you can very easily get to a place where you become complacent. And that's not where we want to be. When you've made a transformation, getting used to it, really feeling the benefits of all of the work that you've done up to now, you can start to look at old ways with rose-colored glasses. So this final step is super, super important because this is the way that you monitor yourself, that you keep checking in with yourself, where your self-awareness grows from strength to strength so that you can not only step into your new identity, but you can help it evolve further. You can really enjoy it and feel the benefits of all of your hard work. So those are the 5 steps. And I have to say, I'm so pleased that I've now tried and tested and lived this through this weight loss. Now, if you would like to know more about exactly what I did, because I haven't spoken about that bit, these were the actual steps. But if you want to know more about what I did, what changes that I've made, then please put a comment down below and I will definitely create some more content on this. But the most important thing for me to say is the doors to Start Over and Rise, the online program, are now open. And on Monday, the 28th of July, we are going to be starting. Now, the beta version of this happened late last year. So I've been refining this for 6 months, mainly working with one-to-one clients. But I'm ready. The program is ready. The community is ready to grow. And if you are ready to start over and rise from where you are right now to where you want to be, then now is the perfect time to join. Starting from that week, next week, there will be 6 weekly group coaching sessions. Okay. And so I will be there. The content will be dripped. Each of the steps will be dripped on a week by week basis. And I will be there to really help you deep dive into each of these sections so that you know exactly what you need to do next. This is about teaching you to self-coach yourself. This is about giving you the tools and the exercises and the top tips on exactly how you can make massive changes in your life. Now, if you are listening to this after next Monday, then you will still be able to join, but the price will be £400 more. Group coaching sessions won't be available to you, I'm afraid, but you will be able to come and take part in the community, and there will be a monthly group session as well going forward. So now is the time to join. So let me know what you think of those 5 steps. Obviously, there's so much more involved in each of those steps. But if you're thinking, you know what, I could do with a system, I could do with trying to start over in a very different way, then this is the program for you. And I invite you to come and join us, where I will walk you through these 5 steps. There's plenty of content. There's a wonderful community where there's daily contact in there from me. And as we grow, from my team members. So you can head on over to saraburton.co.uk/soar, SOAR in capitals, and I will see you on the other side. It really is the fastest way to understand exactly how to change, how to make transformation and live the life that you want to be living. And if you want to know more about anything that I have said today, drop me a comment below. Or if you're listening on the audio podcast, then why not drop me a DM on Instagram, which is, my handle is @startoverwithsara, and you can find me there. I can't wait to create more content for you, especially on exactly what I did and what I discovered about myself in order to come up with the exact way that I could make the changes for better health. Go on over and take a look, and I would love to see you on the inside and help you make that midlife reinvention you are hoping to make. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And don't forget, it's never too late to make a change. It's never too early to start over and rise from where you are right now to where you want to be. You take care.